Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over the donations portfolio. Thank you for donating if you've donated to the portfolio. Really appreciate it. I have a donation link in the description below. If you want to donate to the channel, I can put in this portfolio. I'll add some companies to generate a portfolio for the channel. This is the Finding Value donations portfolio that I'm creating real time, giving updates and telling you what I'm buying, when I'm buying, how much I'm buying, and whatnot. I've got the portfolio behind me. I did make 3 additional purchases to it. I'll show you why I made these purchases. These are more speculative plays. So I really upped the speculative. It's not so much, I would say, they're not necessarily value, they're very speculative. And I'm really relying on technical analysis on these 3, in my opinion, more so than I am looking at value and technical analysis. So I'll go over the ones that I added to the portfolio, and here we go. So I added in FCEL. FCEL Energy, it's a speculative little play, FCEL. If I were to put it in here, we've got the bottoming type pattern, which could be a very big bottoming pattern. Whenever we draw these across, usually what happens, you kind of dive into this, it comes up and touches it, and then it goes down and does this. I call it the booty bottom, the double booty bottom, but it looks like we're not pulling back as far. This is a pretty good low. We had a massive surge in buying pressure, and then the slow leak off of sellers. All through here. And then we just slowly leaked off. And on the right-hand side, I'm seeing a lot of green, large up candlesticks. We've got a nice, good bullish engulfing pattern here. We've got a long-term, I'm going to back out here. Well, maybe not that far. We've got a long-term kind of downtrend line that's breaking just recently, right through here that we're breaking. Everything's breaking on a technical perspective. It even has a really good chart for this, I call it the bottoming type pattern. This is going to take, it may take some time, it may not. I don't necessarily know. I mean, this thing could rocket higher all the way to 26 bucks. But with the move that it had inside of this pattern here and how volatile it is, with the volume kicking up massively on this right-hand side, especially here, and then the slow leak off of sellers, this looks very similar to a lot of patterns that I've seen that have done very well. Now, they are losing money. It is very speculative, and this is 100% based off of the chart pattern. So I'm going to go for it. It's a hydrogen fuel cell company. They do more of like commercial type installments of fuel cells and whatnot. But I'm going to take a run at it with a little bit of money. It is not a large portion of the portfolio. It's $59. I can't remember what percentage that is, but it's like 4% of the portfolio or something like that. So I'm taking a higher risk bet. Why? Because if this thing bears any fruit, it's going to be a massive fruit that is bared. And it's right there at that point on basically a declining trend line. We've broken that, and we've got the same spot where we've got a little bit higher low. So this low is here. We have a higher low here. And I think this is game on for a potential move higher on a squeeze. So I'm looking at the squeeze aspect, and hopefully we can get back to maybe somewhere around the $26, $27 level, if we're lucky. Another one, it's more speculative as well, Platinum Group Metals. I added into that. PLG, it also has the same type of pattern. I bought this in my own portfolio. You can see the movement here. So you get this little like first kind of movement. You get a second, and that's the booty bottom. Sometimes the lead-in's always different. It's the same as fuel cell. I'm buying it close to the bottom. Has pretty good room to move up. Not quite as much as fuel cell. I do own this in my other portfolio. I bought it at $1.60. No joke. I told everyone on the channel when I bought it. And we're moving on up. And it does have that pattern. I think we could get to $5, $6, $5 maybe. Maybe we kind of go sideways for a little bit and then make another, hopefully, large break higher. So I added that into the portfolio. That's PLG, another $55. It's about 4% of the portfolio or so. And then I also added in Seed, Origin Agritech. This is a cool little company that I purchased. It also has that pattern. I don't know what I've got with this guy here. Let me get rid of this real quick, guys. There we go. Just get rid of that. I'm going to put all in there, zoom it down. Okay. So again, I'm looking for the pattern. We've got this pattern here. We've got a second hump. It basically scraping along the lines or along the ground. You know, we've got this kind of pattern that's forming. You can also maybe draw it at the top there. So it's the first one, the second, and then the third. And this is usually the one that goes and tries to break. And you know, I'm just trying the pattern, guys. It's a speculative play. It's okay to put a little bit of speculation in the portfolio. They do have quite dramatic increasing revenues. They're up 300%. They are projecting in 2022 that it will be up 300%. What they do is they do genetically, it's GMO seeds. This was actually brought up by a member in the comment section. I took a look at it. He said, "Hey, it looks like it has this pattern." And I took a little bit. I mean, I dug down a little bit in the company. They are still losing money. I think they're probably going to start making money soon. So this might be a bottom of the bottom. Maybe, fingers crossed. This is definitely more speculative. I wouldn't be betting the farm on it, but you know, I'll put a little bit in there in the portfolio. And I think, you know, hopefully this will bear some fruit here. We did have a down day today. It's right next to this. It's a little bit of a bloody. It's kind of a bigger bloody nose. I was hoping it'd be smaller, but we've got really good volumes coming in or buying pressure coming in. Small pullback, big bullish engulfing. Another big move. We're probably gonna have a small pullback, and then hopefully I'll stair step higher. And I might put a little bit more in if it pulls back a little bit more. But it is very low in comparison to the top of these patterns here. I mean, this is at like 20-something dollars, and we're only at 8. So this is another one that I think that could potentially have a lot of leverage, a lot of short squeeze kind of behind it. And hopefully we get it. Just because I'm talking about this doesn't mean that you guys should be taking any action. These are definitely more speculative, and I'm trying to pick what I consider to be close to a bottom here for such a volatile company. And you can see it's been many hundreds of dollars before. I know that this is a GMO, genetically modified organism or whatever it is, GMO for seeds. And in my opinion, if we have a shortage of food, if we have a shortage of fertilizers because fertilizers get too expensive, I think the next spot that people are going to be looking for are seeds, especially ones that can be grown in adverse conditions. So I know that China is looking at, we'll say it, self-manufacturing more seeds than what they've been doing in the past. They don't want to rely on anybody that's external. This company is a pretty small company. I think it was like, it's 55 million market cap. Pretty small, probably has a lot of potential, and hopefully that potential can be realized over time. So I took a little bit of a gamble in it. So those were my 3 additions. They were more speculative plays. Fuel Cell, FCEL, PLG, and Seed. Those are the 3. I do have a little bit more money coming in. The portfolio's up 7.42% in 4 trading days. It's partially lucky. It's not. It's decent, I think. I don't think this is going to continue on that type of path, but we're going to ride it up and down. I'll show you how this thing plays out over time, and I'll continue to add companies. So I added more speculative positions here based off of a couple of things. What I'm basing it off of is the size of the movements. These are very volatile. So what I did is I took 3 of them. I took 3 that were very volatile, spread the money out, and all I need is 1 to hit big. If I get a 1 to, say I get a 5-bagger or a 10-bagger, I don't know, I'm just going to make up a 10-bagger, right? I turn $50 roughly into 500, and I could lose on the other 2 and be just fine. So I'm not necessarily trying to win on every single one, even though that would be great if that happened. But if I win big on one of them, and it could happen quite quickly, then it could change the portfolio quite dramatically. So hopefully that works out that way. In real life, in terms of like, I wouldn't put a ton of money. I would just spread out and add a teeny bit. That's all I would do. And I did put these in my other portfolios as well, in the same type of fashion. So, we'll see how that goes. Looking at some other news here, just kind of to talk about it. I saw, well, I'm in aftermarket right now. Looks like crude's up a little bit. Gold is down a little. Gold's down, but the CRB index continues to rocket higher. Today we are up massively. It's just been rocketing higher here for the overall CRB index. I did take a look at the CRB to stock ratio, the S&P 500. That looked like it moved dramatically. It was a big gap up higher. We'll see if this run can continue. It's been an absolute massive run for an outperformance of commodities over the S&P 500. That's what it looks like from a long-term perspective. And then another thing that I saw today was nickel, not iron, nickel. Nickel had a massive move. Look at this thing. It is an after hours. That's after hours here, but today was this big guy here. Totally gigantic move today in nickel. Palladium's also moving quite dramatically as well. Big moves there. I saw wheat had a big move. I think this one's wheat today. Yep, there it is. Boom. Big old move higher in wheat. That thing is, let me back out a little bit just to show you guys. Look at this move here. Absolutely gigantic move in wheat. So that's what I've got for the day today, guys. And I'll make another comment here too. It did look like the solar sector was coming around. Here's the solar TAN, just the ETF. It's got an update here. There's your double booty kind of bottom. There's the lead in. Sometimes the lead in is down here. So you get this like consolidation. It comes down like this, and then it consolidates again. And if you look in here, it does look like it's trying to put in a bottom here. Big bullish engulfing, big buying pressure, small selling pressure. It looks like this is ready to go higher. And some of the companies like Sunworks was up almost 40% just today. And that thing looks like it is way down there, bullish engulfing. And the rest of the sector looks like it's trying to do the same thing, bullish engulfing, coming on up. And it's really low down here. You could almost say that this is almost like that setup pattern for a potential break. It does look like it's about in that location that you'd get a nice good move too. So I don't know if that's going to be. I'm just kind of watching it. I don't. I have FuelCell, which is a hydrogen company, and then I've got a little bit in Sunworks, but it's nothing major. They're all speculative type plays. I just wanted to bring that up. That solar's been kind of scratching along the bottom. It could potentially break higher here if you guys like solar. And if I were to let me check some here. If I were to grab this guy, and because you can run across these guys here. I mean, it is close, man. It's somewhere in there. Got a little hump over it. It looks like it wants to go. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll see what happens, guys. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.